Hello, welcome to That VidBlaster Guy. I'm Tom Sinclair, that VidBlaster Guy, with another episode of That VidBlaster Guy coming to you on November 20th, 2013. It's a great day. It's a great day. For those of you that are watching live, my apologies for the late show. Had some personal business had to attend to today that I just couldn't rearrange. But it was all good, all good. And so we're recording this show a little later in the day. If you are watching it on YouTube, then what do you care? You're watching it on YouTube. We invite you, if you are watching it on YouTube, to join us live on Wednesdays at 3 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock London time, and join us in the chat room and chat about. We've got a great community of folks that come on and share ideas and concepts, and sometimes they have a better show in the chat room than we do have live here. Also, subscribe to us on YouTube, and that way you'll get a notice that that we've posted a new show. So that's all good. Little news: if you follow the VidBlaster forum, and that's forum.vidblaster.com, you can stay in touch with what's going on with VidBlaster. The latest is that version 3.19 is in the works. That would be the latest beta. 3.18 is the latest beta that has been released. And 3.19 has got some minor bug fixes at this point. But there are some rumors stirring that we may see some sort of Playout module. If not 3.9, maybe 3.20. But the rumors are beginning to stir. You know, you get your ear to the ground and you're listening to see what might be coming down the pike. Now, what is Playout? Well, Playout is going to replace the version 2 playlist. You remember playlist was where you could put a bunch of files and you could have them play in sequence, one after the other. They could be video files, could be audio files, and a playlist would work with the player module. So they would sort of be like kissing cousins, the playlist and the player module. And you would tell the player module, hey, play the playlist. And the playlist would have a list of files that you had put there. Or you could simply tell the playlist, hey, go find this folder and play everything in the folder in the order that it is in the folder. So it was pretty crude, but it was effective. And a lot of people really liked it and missed it when version 3 came out without a playlist. Well, the reason it had no playlist is because the player had been totally rewritten from the ground up. And the old playlist wouldn't work with the new player. They just were apples and oranges. They just didn't go together. Or apples and orangutans. I mean, they were just totally different species. So the Playout module was introduced in theory and has been discussed extensively on the forum, forum.vidblaster.com. You can go there and read more about it. And now it's beginning to heat up. You know, some ideas are taking shape. The latest post that I saw where the developer Mike Versteeg was saying that the Playout module may not be a quote-unquote module in the sense that we've gotten used to. It may actually be a window, more like the macro window, where we can adjust things. So it looks maybe more like a spreadsheet or a database where we can add and subtract and manipulate different files in different ways. So this is getting cool. So I'm expecting we're going to see, if not in a beta release, at least some more news, some mock-ups of what this will look like on the VidBlaster forum in the days or weeks to come. So keeping our fingers crossed here that we might see something pretty soon. This is going to be good stuff. And you think about the folks on Studio Tech Live. Mark and Vance were talking about a Playout module, a separate piece of software, I think in their show, not last week, but the week before. If you go to studiotechlive.com, I think you can follow in and find out the software they were talking about that did Playout. I think it was a sub-$1,000 package, and it was pretty swift. It just did Playout. I mean, it wasn't a streaming software. It wasn't recording. It didn't do instant replay or overlays or any of that. Well, it had a very small overlay function to it. But it was really neat and can give you an idea what a Playout module would look like. And whether VidBlaster's Playout module looks exactly like that or not, I don't know, but it will be interesting to see how it moves as it moves forward. The idea is that you can pre-program essentially a radio station if you want to do audio, or a TV station if you're going to do video and audio, of all your pre-recorded shows, and have commercials play in the middle of them, have overlays on the screen that would say, coming up next in 10 minutes will be this show, and you can type in that text ahead of time. So basically you could program in 24 hours worth of content if you wanted to. And if you'd like some input into that, if you're a licensed user, by all means, go to that thread on the forum and put in your 2 cents worth about how it should operate and what you would like to see entered into it. Don't wait until it's too late to get your 2 cents worth in. Get them in early. So that's coming up, and you'll want to keep your eyes peeled for that one. That's going to be a lot of fun to look at and kind of help develop it. And that's the beauty of VidBlaster, I think, at least one of the many beauties, is that you get a part in the process. It's not being done in some back room, some smoke-filled room somewhere with a bunch of coders hunched over keyboards. It's not, and it's not open source either, but it has kind of some of the benefits of open source, with also the benefits of a very talented individual behind it who's pushing the buttons and making things work. So that's always a lot of fun. A couple other things coming up on the show today. We want to talk about our VidBlaster contest winner for this week in November, and talk about sort of our theme for the day's show, which is going to be sports broadcasting. But before we do, of course, we want to remind you that this show is an example of how one guy with one PC can do one pretty darn good broadcast. You don't need a room full of PCs. Today's show, we're doing all on one PC. We're running VidBlaster as our main switching program. I've got my chat room up here, and we're recording and broadcasting all at the same time. It's an i7 based PC. The specs for the PC will be in the credits at the end of the show, so you can take a look at those and see what we've got. And then we upload it to YouTube at the end. On some shows, we've actually done a YouTube live broadcast simultaneous with this, and so it's been uploaded, or it's actually been recorded by YouTube, and it was there. And so we recorded ours locally, as we always do, and then uploaded them both. In fact, I don't know that it was last week, but 2 weeks ago we did that. And so you can go back and compare. How does the recorded version that we did compared with the recorded version that YouTube did? Now, in order to be fair, we recorded ours at 480, and then asked YouTube to stream and record theirs at 480. So you can go back and look and see how those do. It's really pretty interesting. So, but let's push on. And we want to welcome anybody that's joining us later in the day. Again, our apologies for getting on a little late. I had a call this morning from a good friend who is a VidBlaster user, and not only a user, but he actually incorporates VidBlaster in with a system that he sells. And he was talking about a show that he's going to be doing actually this coming Friday night in Mississippi somewhere, where his company is going to be broadcasting the Mississippi State Association of Independent Schools football finals. And let me see if I can get you that. I'll see if I can get that URL up here for you. Yeah, let's see if we can put that up there. Whoops. We'll have to hike that up a little bit. There we go. And try to get it off the top of my head. That's one of the things I love about VidBlaster, is the ability to right on the fly be able to put stuff in. It's quick and dirty, and yeah, well, let's see, we can change the color of it so that it looks something like what we would expect to match everything else we had on the screen. We'd do it yellow, and that'll look a little bit better. But it's the MSAIS, the Mississippi State Association of Independent Schools.org. They're going to have their football finals this Friday night. And my friend is going to be producing and directing it. It's going to be a 5 or 6 camera shoot that will incorporate instant replay and overlays, probably lots and lots of overlays, chroma key. The concept is that he's going to have 2 what I would call field cameras that will be on top of the press box. So they'll be probably 30, 40 feet off the ground and maybe 30 or 40 feet away from the edge of the field. And one of the cameras will be sort of a wide view, one will be a close-up view. And then down on the field, he'll have a wireless camera that will be will be broadcasting to a receiver up in the press box, whatever they do down on the field. He'll have a reporter down on the field that'll have a wireless mic that will be hooked up into the press box into his PC. And so the reporter can do that, when the coaches and players are coming off the field at halftime or after the game, and they do a quick 30-second or less interview. That's what they want to do there. They want to get some sideline reporting. If they can steal a moment with a coach during a game and get a comment, they're going to try to do that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun and add a lot of richness to the broadcast. They'll also have a camera that will be fixed on the scoreboard clock. I think it's going to be just on the clock itself. So they'll just do sort of a picture-in-picture and create a little box, a little box. There you go, a little box that has just the score in it, and then they can put that in their scorebug right at the top of the screen there, and that'll be part of the scoreboard that will come and go, depending on which camera and which scene they're showing. So that's 4 cameras. The 5th camera will actually be on the broadcasters themselves. They'll have a green screen behind them and lay in some different graphic backgrounds so that the broadcaster can do a pregame show and a halftime show and a postgame show. So it's a pretty ambitious project. They're probably half a dozen or I guess probably more than that, maybe as many as 10 folks working together on this production. And it's going to be the championship for the independent schools in Mississippi. So that's msais.org. And tune in, won't you? That's Friday night. And you can take a look and see how it turns out. It'll be interesting. And I suspect he's also going to be recording it as well as live streaming it. And then he's actually going to have a separate camcorder, basically just recording some B-roll of what he's doing. So the camcorder will be, showing video of the announcer, showing video of the producer, the sound guy, the cameraman on the press box, the cameraman down on the field, the announcer down on the field, and how all that stuff gets put together. So as that becomes available, I'll make sure that I put a link to it, probably on our website, that VidBlasterGuide.com, on our links page. So where we actually have a lot of links there to what different VidBlaster users are doing all over the country, actually all over the world for that matter. So if you're a VidBlaster user, by the way, and you'd like to get a link there so people can see what you're doing, shoot me an email, Tom@thatvidblaster, right here, Tom@thatvidblasterguide.com, and I will add you to our links page. But the whole concept of sports really brings up the subject of instant replay, and I think we mentioned on a show a while back, at least I hope we did. If not, I'm going to mention it now just to make sure it gets in the works. One of the functions that had been inadvertently, I think, left out of the API, which controls VidBlaster from a remote keyboard or a remote device, and also can be controlled by the macro function. a command that was left out of the API that has to do with instant replay is the basically the in and out, or the start and stop functions of the instant replay. And those are now part of the API, which means that they can be now part of a macro, which means they can also be part of a MIDI controller. So you can set up controller buttons for the ins and outs. If you want to write a script and have that script executed and directly to the API, you can do that now. And so I'm expecting some really cool things to come down the pike with people controlling the instant replay from a keyboard. So it becomes, from a dedicated controller like that Korg Nano controls, $50, plugs into a USB port. It's a great way to control specific functions of VidBlaster, not just instant replay, but if I wanted to be able to remove and add overlays at will, I can just mash a particular button on the controller to put on an overlay or take off an overlay without having to grab my mouse, move my mouse to the right place on the screen, and click the overlay. I can also, as part of the macro function, I can program that to my regular keyboard so that I can use the function keys or any other combination of keys to make things happen with VidBlaster. So it's really cool. Lots of things there that I think are really fun. One of the other things that's going on with VidBlaster, kind of a newsy kind of thing, is that I've had some folks approach me about helping put VidBlaster into school systems. So if you are in a school system and are interested in having VidBlaster be a part of the curriculum, or to be used in a TV production class, or actually in a, imagine a third grade class that can do their own weather report and own news report. That would be very cool. If you're interested in that, contact me, email below, and we can talk about how to get that started in your school or school system. It should be pretty cool. Let's see. The VidBlaster contest has been a lot of fun to do this month. What we've done is basically committed to give away a home edition of VidBlaster every week during the month of November. And we've given away 2 so far. Remember, Maine Bob won it the first week. And then, oh golly, my mind is just terrible. Timothy won it last week with, what was the show that he had? It was a takeoff on That VidBlaster Guy. I'm trying to remember, but my brain fails me. Oh, that scanner guy. That's right. It was a police scanner. And he's going to develop a whole TV show about how to use police scanners, how to listen to them, how to understand what's going on with them. And this week's winner is already doing shows, but they have been shows in a different venue. They've been radio. And he wants to move his radio shows into video because he obviously sees the power of video, color, of recorded videos, of graphics, of all sorts of types of things. And I've actually been coaching this person on the side for about maybe 2 or 3 months, and it's been a lot of fun to do that and to help him try to kind of work his way through VidBlaster. It's funny, people find VidBlaster and they find it different ways, and sometimes they kind of get into the middle and they never really start at the beginning, and so they miss sort of some things, and as a result they come up scratching their heads and saying, okay, well, how do I connect a camera? I got all this video stuff and I got the chroma key and I got all this, but now I don't know how to connect a camera. So we can start with the very basics sometimes and help catch you up on that. So let me see. Let me get back to my notes here. I've got the show for this week. It's a little shorter than some of the others, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And I want to give a hat tip and a salute to Greg from Dallas Fort Worth, whose radio nom de plume is Hondo. So with no further ado, let's see if we can't get Hondo up here. and show you what he's got going. So take it away, Hondo.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Hondo from Impact Texas, and this is another Impact Extra. Talking this week on Impact Texas with the Ronald McDonald House of Fort Worth. We'll be doing that this weekend on Impact Texas. Right now, though, talking with Jennifer Johns, who is my good friend and the CEO here at the house. How are you?
I'm great, Hondo. How are you today?
I'm good. Y'all just finished up a huge renovation. That's part of what we'll be talking about here on Impact Texas, along with the services that you all provide, and a cool event coming up November 8th called the Glow Run. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, we're very excited. The Glow Run is next Friday, November 8th at AT&T Stadium. It begins at 7 p.m., and it's going to be a great time for regular runners, kids, just people of all ages. It's going to be a great time for everyone.
Absolutely. And, of course, we're going to put that information on our Facebook page at facebook.com/ImpactTexas. It's on the 8th, which is days away, 7 o'clock, AT&T Stadium. I keep wanting to say Cowboy Stadium. It's AT&T Stadium, 7 o'clock in Arlington. You go to rmhfw.org for more information on the Glow Run. You can also go there for more information about the house, which I just mentioned underwent huge renovations. It's been going on forever. Just wrapped up in September. 20 rooms added to the house, so now they're up to 58 rooms, 20,000 square foot renovation. One of the cool things behind me, you can kind of see it, and we will focus, there you go, is this donor wall. Talk about this donor wall that we're looking at.
We love our donor wall. We wanted something whimsical, fun, happy here right when you walked in the front doors for people to enjoy. So we engaged the services of an artist out of Kansas City named Chris Dew, and they put together this beautiful wall behind us here.
It's so cool. It's interactive in the sense that it lights up, and it's got all kinds of cool sayings and things like that. We've also got some pictures here of some of the rooms. There you go. These rooms are huge. You'll hear more about that on Impact Texas. I keep telling her I'm going to move into one of these rooms upstairs. So a lot of cool stuff going on. Again, the Glow Run, though, is November 8th, AT&T Stadium, 7 o'clock. Get more details on that at rmhfw.org. And listen to the full interview this weekend on Impact Texas. I'm Hondo. Make it a great week and dare to care.
And congratulations to Greg from Dallas-Fort Worth. Now, one of the interesting things about the way Greg chose to make his video, and again, remember the challenge is to take essentially the home edition, so you're limited to 7 modules. 7, whoops, let me get my fingers right. There we go. You're limited to 7 modules, and to make a video, and so obviously the recorder has got to be one of your modules, make a video that is a show, essentially. And so what Greg did is he actually went out and recorded all of these segments and then came back and used VidBlaster kind of like a production tool where he took the video and then the stills and then other kinds of things and blended them all together using VidBlaster to basically live switch or live to tape, I guess it would be a way to describe it. Or tape to tape, maybe would be the better way. And so he produced that video. So congratulations to Greg. Now, coming up, I think we've got one more week left in the contest, so it's not too late. If you haven't already entered, you want to go ahead and get your entry in. All the rules are posted on our website, that vidblasterguide.com, and you can go there and get more information. So congratulations, Greg, to Texas. Greg, I'll be contacting you by email shortly to see how you want to receive your prize. One of the options you've got, and for folks that are interested in entering, is that if you're already a VidBlaster licensed user, the home edition is priced at $195 US. And if, let's say, you already have a home edition or you have a pro edition, you can use that same value to upgrade to the next edition in VidBlaster. So if you're a home user and you want to upgrade to Pro, the home is priced at $195. Pro is priced at $495, i.e. I guess that would be a $300 difference. And the $195 could be credited to that so that you could actually make your upgrade from home to Pro for $105. That's a pretty good deal. And then, of course, you can do the math on how to do all the others. So if you've won a contest with us before, that's okay. You can enter again. We'd love to have it. Now, if you've won in November, you can't enter again. But if you won back in March or won a contest before that, we can definitely have you enter again. That's no problem. So that's the VidBlaster Home Edition giveaway contest. We've got one more week in that, so it'll be interesting to see who wins in this last week. So congratulations from Greg to Greg from Dallas, Fort Worth. That's obviously in the Texas area. Today's show is going to be a little abbreviated because, again, I had some personal business to attend to earlier and really dug into my show prep time, so I'm not going to try to just stretch this out to fill the hour. But I did want to leave you with a couple of announcements and one trailing thought. Coming up in, I think, January, so we're not going to surprise you with it, will be a new show. We've been doing that VidBlaster, guys, since July of 2012, and we'll continue. But what we found out is that we get a lot of questions that are not necessarily specific to VidBlaster, but are more sort of generic webcasting, internet broadcasting questions. And to be fair to the folks that tune into this show for VidBlaster specifics, we're going to kind of spin off a show that will deal with webcasting specifics, and then keep that VidBlaster guy for specific content that is VidBlaster only, which may shorten the show. We're not sure. It may change the kind of guests that we have. We're not sure. We'll just have to see. But we probably, on the VidBlaster show, for example, we wouldn't be reviewing cameras or capture cards or ancillary software or things like that. But on the new show, which may be One Guy, One PC, OneAwesomeBroadcast.com. We'll have to see if that's still available. Don't steal it, please. I probably shouldn't have even said that. Somebody's going to ransom it back to me. But regardless, the new show will probably start in January, and my hope is to develop sort of a cadre of co-hosts. So folks that can come on a regular or irregular basis, once a month, once every 6 weeks, something like that, and bring something special to the show, whether it's a product or a concept or an idea. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've talked to several people already, but if you have an interest in that, would love to hear from you. And you don't have to be an expert in every different area. But and it may be just sort of a one-shot deal that you'd like to come on. I have a good friend who wants to do a show on making shoes. And while I'm not interested in making shoes, I would sure like to know how he puts together a show on making shoes. And I bet a making shoes show, the template for that would apply to lots of other shows that would be kind of in the same genre, but wouldn't be specifically shoes. So there are lots of possibilities there, and would love to have you guys come along board with that. The other show that we'll be putting together soon, that will probably, again, we're pinning it for January, and show is really not the right name for it. I think we're going to call it a recorded video series, an RVS. How about that for a new acronym? And it'll be called VidBlaster 101, and it will be intended for brand new VidBlaster users. So if you've just bought VidBlaster, VidBlaster 101 will be for you. If you have just started out with VidBlaster, it will be for you. It will be, and this is going to be a little different, it's going to be a subscription show, a paid subscription show, like getting a monthly magazine or signing up for Hulu or Netflix, something like that, where you can pay one price for the year and have access to all the videos. My guess is, at least the intent is up front, to go for about 15 minutes per video and focus on a specific subject within VidBlaster. Probably start out with an overview show and then talk about a camera module and a recorder module, and have one or two or three shows per module in order to get into it with enough depth to bring a new user up to speed. And my guess is by the time we're done, we'll have 30 or 40 different videos there in that library for folks to reference. People that oh, and by the way, full disclosure here, I'm a VidBlaster authorized reseller. So if you buy VidBlaster from me, you'll get a subscription to this new video library for free. If you buy VidBlaster somewhere else, you can still get access to it, but there'll be a subscription charge. We're not quite sure what that's going to be at this point, but it'll be available online. I don't think we're going to be doing any downloads, but that way you can watch it anywhere you are. You can watch it from your phone or your iPad or from your home. We'll have to see if there are other ways to do it. At this point, the Chromecast has not been opened up as much as I hoped it had been. So we'll have to see, and it may be we can figure out a way to get it on Hulu or a Roku. So we'll continue to work on that. But that's going to be a lot of fun as a project. And if you're interested in doing that kind of project yourself on a pay-per-view how to make shoes, and you want some ideas on that, shoot me an email. I'd be happy to chat with you about that. And you may want to wait till I get a little deeper into the show, and I'm happy to share what I know on that one. And again, that might be some grist for the mill, as it were, for the One Guy, One PC show too, when that comes up. So interesting thoughts are coming up there. I promised I wouldn't rattle on today's show, so let me bring this show to a close with, again, apologies for the brevity of it and the lack of material, but some days it's just unavoidable. The schedule for next week, Thanksgiving week here in the U.S., is a little uncertain at this point, so check our website, thatvidblasterguide.com, for when the live show will be. I can guarantee it will not be on Wednesday, and at this point we're not sure whether it's going to be before Thanksgiving or whether it's going to be after Thanksgiving, so as soon as we know, we'll put it on the website, thatvidblasterguide.com, and we'll post it on our Twitter feed, I think it's just VidBlaster Guy. Is it the way it goes in Twitter? There weren't enough characters. You know how Twitter is. There just weren't enough characters to do that VidBlaster Guy, so it had to be VidBlaster Guy with the @ sign in front of it. So you can follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, check our website. We'll try to get that information out however we possibly can. I'm Tom Sinclair, that VidBlaster Guy. It's been a treat to be with you. I hope you'll join us next time, whenever next time is. But in the meantime, have fun. Oh, and go to VidBlaster, forum.vidblaster.com, and download the latest beta of VidBlaster and play around with it. I think you'll enjoy it. It'll be a lot of fun. Take care.